Hey guys, welcome back to the Found Bookshop channel, or welcome if you're new. Welcome back to Sammie's Picks. My name is Sammie, obviously, and I'm choosing 3 books per month to highlight, whether they're new releases or monthly favorites of mine or just recent favorites that I really wanted you to know about. So this month I have 2 from previous releases from previous months, and I have 1 that released in June that I don't actually have a physical copy of because we did a market for Airdrie Pride this weekend and took all the books with us and did not get the chance to return them here. So I don't have it, but that's fine. If you watched last month's Sammie's Pick video and you were like, why would Sammie highlight a book she's never read? I would like you to know I read Atmosphere and I loved it like I said I would. It was super fantastic. Never thought I would care about astronauts, but I actually really enjoyed it. So just know that was a good recommendation and you should still pick it up. All 3 of these books are like super different, by the way, so I love to read all kinds of genres. This is a very interesting array, but these are some of 3 of my favorite books of the year that I've read so far. This Girl's a Killer by Emma C. Wells. This is such a fun book. It's a mystery thriller. It's very much like Female Dexter, which I have not seen, but that's what everyone says. The main character's name is Cordelia Black, and she is a pharmaceutical rep by day and a serial killer by night. She kills bad men to protect the most important people in her life, being her best friend and her goddaughter. And so she wants to make the world a safer place for them and for herself, so she kills the bad men. But when her best friend gets a very annoying, nosy boyfriend, everything starts to fall to the wayside, and Cordelia has to kind of figure out how she's going to save her butt and not go to jail. This was such a fun read. I actually listened to the audiobook, and if you have access to the audiobook and you're an audiobook person, the narrator is incredible. I literally loved it so much. But if you want to pick up a physical copy, we've got lots of those as well. We have a few signed book plates left because this author joined us via Zoom with a local author named Jama Fixon, and they did an event together here, which was such a cool thing. This author is lovely. This book is wonderful, so much fun, and so if you like a little bit of suspense and tension, you like, I don't say morally gray because murder is bad, but she thinks she's doing the right thing, okay? If you like complicated characters and strong relationships and women supporting women and a bit of humor, you should definitely pick this up because it's just a fun read. Second, totally pivoting, Finding Flora by Elinor Florence was in my top 3 books of this year. This is a historical fiction actually based in Alberta, which is super cool. The author is Canadian, she's from Saskatchewan. It is about 5 women who are homesteading up near Lacombe, what is now Alex, Alberta, I believe, in the early 20th century. And all of these women own this land and these homesteads basically through a loophole, because single women are not technically supposed to own property. So we have the main character Flora, who is escaping her abusive husband, and a fun little tidbit is in the very first chapter, when she jumps off the moving train to escape her husband, she jumps off just about 20 miles west of Calgary, which, if you know any Alberta geography, that pretty much lands you right in Cochrane. So that's pretty cool, and we have the railway going right through, so I choose to believe that she jumped off right in front of what would become Found Books and Shop. You have your main character Flora escaping her abusive husband, and she manages to acquire land through someone who sells it to her. She meets a single mother with 3 kids she's widowed, and her and her children are homesteading. And then once they arrive to the area where they choose their land, there is also a Métis woman who owns her land because her father, I'm having a little bit of trouble remembering. Her father was given the land because the Métis were given land, and then when her father passed away, it was passed down to her. And then also there is 2 women living together, homesteading together, but they are just friends. Of course, we know they're not just friends, but they left Boston because people kind of figured out that they were not just friends, so they relocated to Alex. These 5 women have a lot of trouble with the town. The town is not happy that there's a whole whack of women being strong and successful in their homesteading endeavors, so it becomes quite a challenge. but I love this book. I don't really read like Western historical fiction, but if you've ever read Little House on the Prairie, which was literally one of my favorite series as a kid, this really reminded me of Little House on the Prairie. All these women are super interesting, super different, and to be honest, I was a little nervous about the ending, but it ended up working out just how I hoped it would, and I really liked this book. I had a hard time putting it down. So if you like historical fiction, if you like strong women, if you like learning more about Alberta, because there's a lot of stuff I didn't know about Alberta and the history of Alex itself, you should pick this up for sure. Yeah, super fun, definitely recommend. The third book, like I said, we don't have a copy right now. Well, we do, but I don't have it here with me. So again, I'll put it up on the screen, but this was my favorite book I read in June. This released on June 3rd. It is called Nobody in Particular by Sophie Gonzales, who has written lots of other books. She wrote Only Mostly Devastated, I believe. She wrote a book called If This Gets Out, which I really enjoyed a few years ago, and a few other ones. This book is about two girls in a European boarding school. One is the princess of the country and the other one is an American who moved there with her family, and they end up in a little bit of a forbidden romance. And yes, if that sounds familiar, it really reminded me of one of my favorite shows of all time, Young Royals. It was actually uncanny, a lot of the similarities, but do not fear. Sophie said she wrote this book many years ago before this came out, so it was not like a weird plagiarizing situation. It was just the weirdest coincidence of all time. But it's basically Young Royals if it were sapphic. It's young adult, lovely characters. I also listened to the audiobook of this one and I did really enjoy that. I really liked the characters, I really liked the relationship and the development, and the plot was very like fast-paced, but still like I was engaged the whole time. And I loved the ending. I'm always a sucker for like, I can love the book, but the ending, if the ending sucks, no thank you, that's not for me. I like a good ending, and I'm kind of picky on my endings. All three of these books this month, I really liked the way that they ended. So you should definitely pick this one up. Yeah, it's young adult, which is lovely. We love a good young adult romance. Obviously, Sapphic and Pride Month may just have ended, but doesn't mean you need to stop reading Pride books. So you should definitely pick this up. If you like a little forbidden romance, that is definitely a good pick for you. Those are my picks for the month of June. I hope one of them called to you. They're all very different, so hopefully you're interested in one of them. If you are interested, you can order them through our website and come and pick them up in store, or just come and browse and see what we have. But yes, you should 100% pick up one of these books this month. And then if you do, you should let me know what you think, because I love hearing people's opinions on books I recommended. Unless they hated them, then I feel sad. But I'll still listen if you hated it, and I want to know why. So, thank you so much for watching. You should definitely subscribe, and you should follow us on Instagram as well, at Found Bookshop. As I said last time, this shop is, the team is full of characters, and our social media is very entertaining, in my unbiased opinion. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next month, and make sure you watch our last YouTube video that I just posted, because it's very entertaining, and the first of many to come. Have a great week, guys. Have a great weekend. I don't know what day this is going to be up, and I will see you guys at the end of July. Bye!